Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my beautiful ride share of revolutionaries. I cannot talk right now. It's me, Gio. Y'all know who the fuck it is. I'm here with my buddy Steven. He is a law enforcement officer.
A cop.
He's a cop. He's one of them.
There's two kinds.
And if any of you smell bacon, this is why. And we're going to break down some footage I got yesterday of a what appears to be a 20 to 22-year-old girl in the suburbs of Lake Zurich, Illinois at 11 a.m. on a Sunday. And his dog is making a ton of noise.
Never mind the dog.
And this girl was doing a field sobriety test. And yeah, so he's gonna break down what's happening to all of us who aren't in law enforcement.
Can they already see that image?
Yes.
Okay.
They can see the screen, the app, the app I'm using right now is just recording us, and it's going to be recording everything that's going on the screen.
Well, it's obviously daytime. I would say it's early. You think she's drunk still, or did she just get off a graveyard shift?
When I was watching this going on, I was like,
what time of day?
This is 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
On a Sunday morning, she might still be drunk.
From the night before, maybe.
She's dressed like she's not working. Usually, if you get a DUI in the morning hours, it's people who were partying super hard, or people who were working graveyard, who just got off their shift and got hammered afterwards.
And I'm not entirely familiar with the privacy laws concerning all this. For the sake of privacy, even though I don't think I have to, I went ahead and added a filter to every part. Every time you see most of the girl's face, I added this little filter on this editing app, so you will not be able to identify her.
You have to go and find all the people that were driving by and saw her doing those things, and you have to filter their eyes.
Yeah, I have to filter everyone. And here, at some point, even this gentleman officer saw me recording, and he didn't really seem to care.
You're in a public way.
So,
Public service announcement. You have no expectation of privacy when you're out on the street. So, although it's in poor taste, people could shove a camera in your face, and it's not illegal.
So you're saying I should have gotten out and gotten right up on him and just be like, officer, I'm trying to get the shot. Please move.
Well, then he could have articulated that you were interfering with his investigation. So, yeah, you could videotape it at a reasonable distance, as long as you're not messing with what's happening.
But it's all about the views, bro.
It is all about the views.
Mm-hmm.
Let's view. So what's happening here is generally the first test administered, my personal favorite, scientifically the most reliable. It's called the horizontal gaze nystagmus test. Nystagmus is a fancy word that means an involuntary jerking of your eyes.
You want to say that slower, please?
The horizontal gaze nystagmus test. Horizontal from side to side.
You
Gaze.
Want to pick him up so he stops growling?
No, my dog is just being anxious. He's cool. I'll take him for a walk later.
Okay.
He's checking her eyes, how they react to the stimulus. In this case, he's using the tip of his finger. Some guys will use a pen. Some guys will use a little tiny flashlight with a bulb at the end. Some guys will do a combination. They'll have a flashlight up so you can see what you're looking at. Yeah, it depends on, because it's just broad daylight. They don't need anything special. At night, usually I get my DUIs at night. This is in the daytime, easy money. So if she's impaired by alcohol or other substances, it'll cause certain things to happen when she's looking from side to side. So on one pass, he might be looking for, what's the word? Lack of smooth pursuit. So like as your eyes go from one side to the other, they're not going smoothly. They're kind of jumping around. The other thing he could look for is distinct and sustained nystagmus at maximum deviation, which means as your eyes hold gaze toward one side, and it's usually 4 seconds or more, that when they're looking that way, they're going to bounce. And the more they bounce, the worse it is.
Like an RPM meter, just kind of like...
Yeah, with like a really low governor, it'll be like zing, 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 zing,
Okay,
zing, zing, zing.
That makes sense, yeah.
And then the last one is the onset of nystagmus before 45 degrees. Now, what that means is your eyes will start doing the jumping thing before, like let's say straight ahead from your nose is 0 on a, what are we looking at? Like a compass?
Yeah.
So, and then this, so like straight ahead is 0, your shoulder going this way perpendicular to that line is 90, 45 is right in the middle. So if your eyes start to do the nystagmus jerking before 45 degrees, that's another indicator of impairment. That's what he's doing right now.
Okay. So let's go ahead and start watching here. And feel free to pause it whenever you want to elaborate on something.
I guarantee you that if this cop is any good or has... Well, see, like, I'm looking at his shirt. His shirt looks brand new. So either he's a nerd or he's a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, there's like those nerd cops that are like, "Oh, shit is brand new." It's one of the two.
I don't think so.
Dude, if you go into anything deep enough, you become a nerd. You can, dude. People that are into sports, they're nerds. Like the guys who's like, "Oh, I know the entire roster from 1988 to 1995, all their stats, how many touchdowns." You're a fucking nerd.
He was so professional, though. That's what makes me think.
Well, you know what? I'm a human being, and sometimes your shirt's not.
And like I said, I know you can't see because I did some editing software on the video. On some parts, you do like they say.
So
I've taken 2 field sobriety tests in my life too. Every single time they do it, they say, "Don't move your head, just follow the finger with your eyes."
Okay, so now he's going here. How do I do the thing? Now he's doing the last test that isn't always administered, and it's vertical gaze nystagmus. So instead of horizontal side to side, he's taking your eyes and he's having them track upwards. This can help him determine if whatever substance you consumed is impairing you severely. Because if you observe vertical nystagmus, which means like when you're looking up, your eyes will bounce upwards. That means that for you personally, it's not across the board, it's for you personally. Let's say you don't drink a lot and you're hammered off of maybe 2 or 3 or 4. Vertical nystagmus will indicate that it's a heavy dose for you. Doesn't mean it's going to happen unless it's for you. Like for Giovanni, a heavy dose, I wouldn't notice vertical nystagmus unless he's been like really pounding the whiskey.
Shit, bullshit.
But for someone who, like an 18-year-old kid,
can't drink with
an 18-year-old kid in an underage drinking party will probably exhibit vertical nystagmus way sooner. It's important to note, and we can play it. So not only, I was trying to say this earlier, so if he's experienced,
go ahead and touch the button,
or if he knows exactly what he's doing, or if he's going to write a really good report, he's not just documenting what's happening in her eyes. He's documenting that she needs to lean against the car for balance. And he's documenting that during the test, she's kind of swaying around. It's just weird little things like that. But
I did a fucking horrible job filming this, by the way. Horrible.
He should have her stand like he's standing with no support. But she elected to lean against the car. I would write that down. How cold is it?
I would say it was negative. On the weather app, it said like 3 degrees, but it felt like -9, -10.
So I would have considered that to be
not looking
unfair.
Good.
And I would have had her do the... See, like, look at this. Okay, first of all, hey, I don't care. We're cops, you're fucking...
Not looking good.
Why don't you be cool and give her the benefit and have her do these inside the Quickie Mart instead of outside the Quickie Mart? Because it's warm in there.
By the way, he's a lifelong Simpsons fan, so that's why he said Quickie Mart.
No, I'm serious.
Not
He's
gas,
right in front
not gas station or convenience store.
If it's, what did you say? It was 11 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
That place is open. They could do this shit inside. And it would help her out.
And I wouldn't be able to record it if it was inside.
Because not only is her performance suffering because she's allegedly impaired, but it's fucking cold outside and I could see her midriff.
But then again, isn't that kind of like an indicator that she was drinking? Because if that jacket could close and zip up, and she chose not to close and zip it up, isn't that like an indicator that she just is under the influence of something?
I don't think she expected to be outside. You know, like when you're a kid and you're like...
Yeah, but if I'm cold, if it's -10, if it feels like -10, I'm going to go ahead and zip up my jacket.
She didn't expect this to happen.
Yeah, clearly not. Especially not wearing her Pirate of the Caribbean boots.
You know what I would do too? As a crafty veteran, I would, and this as the God's honest truth, I don't ever say anything that I'm not going to make good on. I would tell her that we have to do these field sobriety tests, but because the conditions outside are not ideal, that we will do them at the police department. And I know that sounds like you're going to get fucked, but you're not, because I guarantee that if you pass them, I drive you back to your car and nothing happens. I guarantee it. A good cop would guarantee that. A fucking piece of shit cop is going to use every trick he can do to try to make you fail, whether or not it's your fault.
So you think this was an unfair test because it's being administered?
I think it's an unfair
in
test
the cold.
because it's because it's that cold.
Okay.
I mean, you can, whatever, like 40 degrees, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Negative below 0, that's not cool, man. It's going to affect you hardcore. Anyway, this is the walk and turn test.
And she appears to be doing it okay the first time she's coming this way.
For someone who doesn't know what you're looking for,
good.
it probably looks fine.
Off to a rough start.
But then, yeah, you see her wobbling before.
There's a couple clues you have to keep an eye out for. If you see the person's... So, like, when you're instructing the inebriate to do the test, you tell them, hey, I'm going to demonstrate it first and explain...
Wait, I think she got it.
This is talking time. So you say, here, I'm going to tell... Because how are you going to do the thing if you don't know what the thing is? So you...
Like, have you ever watched Cops? Do what they do on Cops. Walk a straight line.
No, do not do what they do on Cops.
Do what they do on
Cops is... You know what Cops is good for? A bad example.
Don't do what they do on Cops.
So you say, I'm going to explain and demonstrate everything you need to do. And then when you say you get it, then we start.
Okay.
But during my explanation and demonstration, you must hold the starting position. The starting position is with your feet on the line, ready to go. In touching heel to toe, right in front of left. That's it. Stay there until you're cleared to begin.
Okay.
She didn't do that. She stepped out of it several times.
She definitely had the wobbles.
Speaks to her inability to maintain balance.
Yeah.
The other thing you're looking for is not only if they step out of the position during the instructional phase, is if they start too soon. Like you start doing it, and then they're like, I got it! And then they start doing it before you're done. That's another indicator of impairment.
What about that? Did you ever see the video of the girl doing cartwheels instead of walking a straight line? Did you see that one?
No. Is it for real or is it
I'm
like a
pretty sure it was for real. The
parody?
girl was like drunk on a sidewalk, and then they're giving her the walk and turn test, and she was doing cartwheels. But they're like, no, we're not asking for cartwheels. We're asking you to walk a straight line. And after like 4 or 5 times, they just arrested her.
So then you do the instructions, then they start. Right now she's got 2 strikes against her, out of a total of 8 strikes. So those are 2 at the beginning, and then when you're walking, you need to touch heel to toe on every step. If you don't, that's 1. If you step off the line, that's another 1. If you stop while you're walking, like if you take a step and you're like,
you got to get it together if you got to keep it together?
all right, that's another 1.
Okay.
And this is gonna sound weird. I don't know if anybody's watching that gives a shit, but you're supposed to do 9 forward, and then when you get to 9, you perform a turn in the way that the cop demonstrates the turn. The way the turn is stupid.
Okay.
I don't really care about.
So
the
that
turn.
one's a little irrelevant.
I would have this turn is stupid.
Okay.
Just turn around.
Okay.
Figure it out.
So you don't have to do a runway. You don't have to do a
Dude.
Zoolander turn.
Trust me, if someone's messed up to the point where you even think you should be administering these tests, the turn is meaningless.
Okay.
So then you do 9 steps back in the same way you did it. Oh, and you got to keep your hands down at your sides, the way.
Yeah, she's doing a bit of a ballerina
So you
thing here.
kind of got a little. See, this is. My scale is off. It can only be a certain amount of inches away from your sides. This is kind of a gray area because I'm not too nitpicky when it comes to arms up. Like if it's arms up, like super, like I'm on a.
Like she's trying to balance a book on.
I'm between like the World Trade Centers and like I have a big stick.
Yeah.
That's arms up. This is arms a little bit up. I'm not gonna ding you because I'm a human being. And I probably have enough evidence to arrest you no matter what. Like I said, the eyes are the best. The walking stuff and the balance stuff that you'll see later, it's great. If you combine the results from all 3 tests together, you get the most reliable, you can conclude the most reliably. But if I had, and this is gonna, again, if anybody's watching that's like a state's attorney or a judge or another cop, they'll agree with me. They'll hate hearing me say it. But if I had to pick one of the tests, I'd pick eyes every time. I would confidently determine whether or not to make an arrest or take an enforcement action based on a really, really appropriately administered HGN or horizontal gaze knife study. Look at her, she's just chilling.
No, I think she's okay.
No,
that didn't look too bad. That didn't look too bad to me. I'm not a cop. I'm not a cop.
It doesn't feel like she touched heel to toe. You gotta count your steps out loud. It's not a thing.
She was trying to race. She was competing against herself in that one.
So here's the thing, like, another one of the instructions for that test is count each step out loud. So when you take a step, it's 1, and then you and I'm talking out loud. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woo!
Speed. I've never really had speed to be an issue. But if you don't count out loud, it's not a ding. But a dude who knows what he's doing will write that in his report.
Okay.
She did not follow instructions, blah, 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 as I instructed. Go. This is a one-leg stand test. It's the last of the standard field sobriety test. When I say standard, there are other field sobriety tests, but they're not standard.
I think she's okay. I think she's got
Cut
it.
the mustard scientifically, but they're still valid as long as you do these.
Do they still make you recite the alphabet?
I think she's gonna pass.
That's
I think so.
non-standard.
I think this is a pass.
So that's still a cop can still.
Come on, girl.
Like
I'm rooting for you.
Sing it. Like you have to
Come on, girl.
pick 2 letters and.
How is she doing?
Stick it to the man.
I wasn't looking. So you know what? I'm gonna point this out. Can you rewind it a little bit?
Yes.
There's some stuff. So you need more practice using your telephone machine.
Shut up. Wait, that's not that.
Oh.
There we go.
I think she's gonna pass. I think so. I think this is a pass.
So the instructions for this,
Come on, girl. I'm rooting.
just like the last test, the cop explains and demonstrates before you even start. And unlike the previous test, you don't need to hold any funny position during that explanation. But you're supposed to lift a foot with your toes pointed forward. This is a common cheat that people will do. They'll lift their toes up toward the sky or skyward. You can see it. Can you see it? Can you see
Yeah.
it? So her toes, you shouldn't be able to see the bottom of her foot.
So you should not see the sole of her shoe right now.
So, like,
I shouldn't be able to see the sole.
That's a common cheat is people will lift their toes skyward. Another common cheat is they'll look into the distance ahead of them or even up. I don't see up very often, but I see straight ahead a lot. The instructions, and this speaks to the efficacy of the test, is it's a lot more challenging to keep your toes pointed forward and to stare at your lifted foot. Those are the instructions because they divide your attention even more. And these tests are divided attention tests. So when you're under the influence of any kind of drug, substance, or intoxicating compound, that's straight from the warning to motorist form that you get read. This girl probably heard it whenever this video was shot. So it's a lot harder to divide your attention when you're impaired. The instructions for this are you have to lift your foot 6 inches off the ground, toes pointed forward, arms at your sides, while looking at your foot and counting aloud in the following manner.
My question here is, so you're saying she should have had her knee up like at a 90 degree
No,
angle?
the leg stays straight. The leg straight. No bend in the knee.
Okay.
Straight leg. And the foot should be, here's another way to say it. The foot is parallel to the ground. So if the ground is like here, your foot should be parallel to it, but just 6 inches higher.
Okay.
And then you go for it. And then you count 1,001, 1,002,
So
1,002.
she's not doing this test well, is what you're saying.
She's not. See, this is where people can get confused. The things she's looking for that are indicators of impairment, she's not doing the test right. So he can't tell if, like, technically she's getting everything wrong because the test isn't being performed correctly.
Okay.
That's like saying, like, oh, I hit the ball in baseball, but then I ran to third base. Like, well, technically,
You connected.
Like, you connected.
It's a hit. It's a
and
hit.
you ran to a base, but you didn't run to the right base.
Okay.
I was going to say one more thing. Anyhow, so you can't lift your arms like the other test. You can't sway excessively while balancing. You can't put your foot down. I think she's done.
I'm rooting for you.
all of these things already.
Come on, girl.
She had her foot up
You
for
can
like
count that as
15
a sway.
Stick it to the
There's
man.
some serious sway soon, though. Oh, she puts her foot down. Is she going to try again?
Oh.
Oh, no, she's done. So you have to do it for 30 seconds.
She's being followed into a police car.
I can't do this as a sore person for 30 seconds. No chance.
You have to keep it up for 30 seconds of real time, not 30 seconds of you counting out loud.
You got the breathalyzer?
Here's a fun fact for everybody. Depending on what you're on, because you can get a DUI not for just booze, but for coke or heroin, or if you take prescription drugs that will mess you up to the point where you can't operate a motor vehicle safely, like benzos or antidepressants, whatever you got. You have to keep your foot elevated for 30 seconds of real time. So the cop should be somehow timing you.
He had a cell phone.
So he has a cell phone out with a stopwatch, or he's got his, if he's a fucking rookie bitch cop, he's probably got a G-Shock from Kohl's.
A G-Shock?
G-Shocks are all the rage with rookie cops.
What the hell is G-Shock?
It's a kind of watch.
Okay.
It's basic bitch shit. Anyway.
For the basic bitch cops.
For the basic bitch cops with brand new shirts.
Do they look cool? Is it they're trying to look cool with it? Is it?
Let me finish, please.
Okay.
You can count as fast as you want or as slowly as you want. However, the crafty veteran will make a note about after 30 seconds of real time have elapsed, where you counted. And if you're fast, if you counted, I'm going to reductio ad absurdum, exaggerate for the sake of a point. If you counted like 1,000,000 seconds in the 30 seconds I counted in real life, it speaks to the impairment by stimulant, so cocaine. Or if you're on Adderall or something. If you counted hella slow in my 30 seconds, and if you got to like 9, then heroin or a depressant, or like.
See, that is very interesting right there.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
No, it's fucking crash course.
Because she was counting quickly.
The curtain.
She definitely was counting.
You think she was
quickly.
counting fast?
Yeah.
Did you hear her? I didn't hear her.
I mean, I would say like there was like 15 or 16 seconds elapsed, and she was like 25
I
seconds.
can just tell this is experienced talking right now. This is the part where this woman is going to be like, they're going to ask her again what she did, and she's going to say either the same thing, something different. It's going to be different if she's really hammered. Usually it's like a different number. Look how readily she put her hands behind their back.
So this is not her first
knows
arrest.
she was hammered. No, that means it's like, all right, you got me.
Officer! Officer, get out of the way!
Look at this female cop really helping. Look at her. Look, indispensable.
So who's the supervisor? The guy with the beanie, you would say?
I don't see any chevrons on anybody. But the guy doing the least has probably been there the longest.
I'm 34 years old. This is the first time I've ever seen.
Although she looks pretty new. And she's definitely doing less than that dude.
Suspicion of DUI.
I'm kidding.
He's not kidding.
Damn.
If you hear him, he's kidding. If you see him, he's not kidding.
Look how it's almost as if she's happy she's being arrested. Like she's like, yeah.
I mean, I can't speak to that. I don't know what she's
Her
thinking.
shoulders are back.
She doesn't look at all stressed out. I mean, she doesn't look like if I got arrested, I'd be like, fuck,
Dude,
what the fuck?
You know when people are 100% guilty is if
It's like they're patting her down for
they fall asleep in the cell. If they stay up,
poor girl must be freezing, guys.
They're
It
super
is
nervous.
literally so cold right now.
they never get. But like, if
In
you get
Chicago,
arrested,
it's-
you
Right
fall
now I'm in the
asleep, that means
suburbs
you're
of
completely
Chicago.
cool. Like everything worked out.
The northern
way you
suburbs,
thought it was,
northwest
like, you got
suburbs.
caught. No more anxiety.
With wind chill, it's probably negative 10 degrees right now. It's really bad.
If I was a good defense
This
attorney, I
girl's
would
gotta
say
be fucking
the wind chill was
freezing.
negative 10 degrees, and my client.
She would have passed if not.
Even
for
the cops
temperature.
are
If it was
I mean,
normal
obviously it's
conditions,
cold
she
out.
was too cold to perform them.
Yeah, I would.
I would definitely say that. I would talk about that. I would talk about those trashy boots that she's
Go
wearing.
Go ahead and give like how she could beat this right now.
How okay. Well, I mean,
And she refused the breathalyzer, so that's not admissible in court.
that's
obviously, right?
that's the portable breath test. That's the one that they could administer on the street. That one's not admissible in court. The only breath test that's admissible in court is the one at the police department because that's calibrated by the state police.
Okay.
That's the one that will affect her license. So if she cooperates and submits a breath sample, the punishment's less severe, or the suspension is less severe. If she refuses, I'm going to quote the warning to motorists again. If you refuse to complete all chemical tests requested, then your license is suspended for a longer amount of time. However, that breath sample cuts both ways. Now, this isn't every cop talking, because I'm not every cop. This is me personally as a cop talking. If you blow low, and I've done this, and I don't care because I don't take it personally anymore, I make this deal to every single dude in my custody. If I bring you to jail and I read you the warning and I say you will be charged with DUI, but if you submit a breath sample and that breath sample is less than 0.08, which is the Illinois legal limit, I don't charge you with DUI. You'll get whatever ticket, whatever probable cause ticket that I use to stop your car, and then I will even drive you home if you don't have a way to get home and you live close enough, because I'm not a piece of shit. Unfortunately, I'm only one of however many million cops there are in this world.
And what else were you said you had something else to follow up?
No. What if I was a defense attorney?
Yeah.
I would argue that her shoes, although if the cop was cool, he offered, but see, the offer means nothing in negative 15-degree weather. You can offer them like, oh, are your shoes comfortable? And she's like, the fuck do you mean are they comfortable? They're like, how big were those heels? At least 4 or 5 inches.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So they were like going out boots. They weren't like comfy boots. He would probably offered, hey, if you feel comfortable performing the test in those boots, Godspeed. If you feel like you would perform the tests of balance and walking better without the boots, by all means take them off. Bitch isn't going to take them off in negative 15-degree weather. He should have taken her inside the store or done these in a different place where it would have been, where you couldn't contest the validity of the test, because it's too damn cold to do anything. I don't want to be out there.
So, what do you...
Part of the reason I'll take you back or go inside is because I don't want to be cold.
So, coin flip. What would you say the odds are that she beats this charge? Because she obviously...
I don't know what happens after this. Depends on what happens at the police department.
She obviously just got arrested for suspicion of DUI, right?
I don't know what she does at the PD with the actual intoximeter.
Now, can she still refuse that test? Or
she can refuse that, yeah.
And is that automatic?
No, it'll still go to hearing. Her defense attorney might try to... There's a couple games that defense attorneys like to play. They like to continue the case 1,000,000 times on the off chance that the cop doesn't show up to one of those dates. And then if the cop doesn't show up to one of those dates, they're like, well, we're ready to go, but fucking Officer Dickhole didn't come to court today, so I guess off the hook. That's one.
Is that simple? Is that easy? Just hope.
I mean, it's not easy because she's paying the dude to be there every... I don't know how many times that you have to continue it before the cop gets fed up or decides that he's too tired to show.
Yeah.
It'll cost her an arm and a leg. Either way. It'll cost her an arm and a leg if she pays for a decent representative. It'll cost her an arm and a leg if she doesn't, uses a public defender and gets found guilty. It's going to cost you a little money. But you know what? Driving drunk is a selfish act, and it's incredibly dangerous, and I don't give a shit. Because if you're disrespectful to the law, why should I respect you?
Don't drink and drive, kids. But
don't drink and drive.
I already finished my beer. But like I said, do you think, like, did she seem super fucked up here? Kind of fucked up from what you saw? Did she...
I couldn't see her eyes. The eyes are my favorite test. That's my bread and butter, man. The walking test, like I said, I would blame it on the boots. That's bugging me. But if I saw her eyes, and if I smelled it, I didn't know if she had... For a couple things we haven't seen. We didn't see her driving. What caught the cops' attention to stop her? We didn't see what she did. Any aberrant driving, that's important to know what it was. We didn't see if there was contraband visible from outside the car in plain view. Like, I've had DUIs where like it's like a needle in the guy's arm.
Jesus.
I've had DUIs where it's just fucking cans of Corona all over. Just chilling.
Those were like that when I got in here, officer. I don't drink. I'm a Mormon.
Or like, I mean, I'm pretty cool, like, and nobody expects it, but I'll see like maybe like a Mountain Dew bottle or something, or like a fountain drink, you know, with the McDonald's.
Like a big gulp.
And I'll be like, pass me that, and they're like, what? Because no one ever asks you to pass your fountain drink, and I'll smell it, and I'll be like, oh, you put rum in here, dude, and like so we don't know what's in the car. We don't know what she did to catch his eye. We don't know what her eyes look like when he did the horizontal gaze nystagmus or the vertical nystagmus. But it had to be, like I said, and I don't know how new or seasoned this cop is. But sometimes if your eyes are, and like I said, the eyes are usually the first test because they're my favorite. I think they might be every cop's favorite. If I'm doing a DUI investigation on someone and your eyes are good, I tap out. I say, yeah, you're fine. The eyes are that good.
So
I can determine
he had
whether or not-
enough to determine to continue the test and to verify if she was under the influence.
Yeah, and if the eyes are bad, doing the other tests are just kind of like turning the screws on what should be a pretty decent collar. If the eyes are good, then I'm like, it's just a waste of my time to do the other fucking things because you're probably gonna be fine. We don't know if she said some of the questions you ask that sound like casual questions, but they're not. They're all moving toward administering the test. Like, do you have any medical conditions? Like, do you have any broken bones or like chronic yada yada? Do you take any prescription medication? Because I've had guys like, oh yeah, I take prescription medication. Sometimes you can't drive on prescription medications though. You can get hammered on prescription.
Now, would you
medication.
still get charged for DUI if that happened?
Yeah, there's a lot of, so like DUI is one statute, like an umbrella statute. It's 11501 or 625 or ILCS, whatever. And then subsets of that statute, there's one for any amount of alcohol. Usually you can charge that one if the guy, or the lady in this case, is involved in a crash. And you can kind of articulate, well, she's not over the legal limit, or we don't know if she is or not, or he is or not, but they were drinking, and likely that amount of intoxicating substance caused them to get into a crash. Like, the crash itself is evidence of that level of impairment.
Okay.
The second one is if you're over 0.08, which you can only glean by a breath sample or a blood draw or a urinalysis. But urinalysis is actually more for drugs. Blood draw will give you booze. I had to subpoena people or search warrant people's blood before because they're like, fuck you, I'm not blowing the machine. But the case is kind of.
And that is
Like,
is that in the event of an accident, or you just pulled someone over?
It's absolutely in the event of an accident that other people are hurt. Like,
so then
I'm
you
definitely
will
gonna
get a
grab your
warrant for the blood test.
Yeah, I type it up as we're talking. And they're like, I'm like, are you going to blow the machine? And they're like, no, fuck you. And then I'm like, all right, I'm typing a search warrant for your blood that you will have to, like, and then I call a phlebotomist. And the thing that sucks for them is, like, the breath machine is free. If I have to type a search warrant and then wake a judge up at 2 o'clock in the morning and have him sign a warrant, and then I have to call a phlebotomist that they're on call, and she's got to drive from where the hell she's coming, I don't know, wherever they live. They're paying her, they're paying the judge, and you're paying for that person to come out and draw your own blood. So you're pretty much, you know, like when kids would get disciplined back in the day, and the mom would be like, "Go get me a switch," and then you would get your ass kicked with the stick that you went out to get yourself.
Yeah, well,
That's what you're doing.
Did you ever get cut me a switch? That didn't happen.
No, my mom hit me with spoons and,
Yeah.
and with slippers.
I got my ass kicked with shoes.
With the chancleta?
Shoes, spatulas, you name it, but never with a stick.
My dad gave me a belt a lot.
Yeah, I got the belt.
The old belt.
I might have gotten an umbrella once or twice too.
The hell's walking around with an umbrella?
Yeah, maybe it was just whatever he had right next to him. Just like, get your ass over here, you little asshole. So
Yeah.
You're saying, so when do they get their blood warranted? When do you get a search warrant?
Okay, so if you
Only in the event of an accident, or would this girl get her blood?
if you make it the very ignorant choice to like say, all right, take my blood, and then I will take your blood. I don't charge you that night. You might stay in the lockup for a little bit while I finish all the other paperwork, but you go home with no charges that night. Me personally, nothing at all. But you get the impending sense of dread for the next 6 months to a year, because I'm waiting for the lab to test your blood and then to send me the results, and then I get a warrant for your arrest, and then we know for sure that you were over the limit, so you have no way to,
You can get that 6 months after the fact?
Dude, The lab has way more important shit to do than test.
Oh my god.
Test drunk driver blood.
That is.
They're working on like
6 months.
rape kits with like semen stained panties and stuff, or like murder weapons.
6 months though.
To a year. They're not gonna test my DUI blood if they got some hot caper going on.
Could you imagine that though? Because imagine you got pulled over in like December of 2018. You're like, yeah, I got pulled over. I never got a DUI charge though.
It's worse.
And
because by the time you get
you're all good. You're like, what the fuck?
You'll be going to work and then someone will stop you and you go, oh, you got a fucking warrant for your arrest. And you're like, oh yeah, I do. Like you forget. It's the worst.
That's
and then we tow your car again because there's no one there who can drive it.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that a charge can be delayed by that much.
So that whole thing with the breath machine, or the blood draw, or the urinalysis, all that you agreed to when you went to the DMV on your 16th birthday to get your license, like a selfish little prick. Because you don't read any of the paperwork. You're a fucking stupid teenager.
I agreed to nothing.
You're a dumb teenager who just wants to drive to the Hot Topic and buy discount t-shirts.
I agree to nothing.
You just want to...
I'm on the record right now. I agree to nothing.
So all the things that the cop reads you about, you have to acquiesce to a chemical test. It's a breach of contract. When you got your license, you were like, give me the fucking license! And you just signed whatever. When you get arrested for DUI, all that shit you didn't read says, hey, if you're ever arrested for DUI, you got to do exactly what we ask, and you have to cooperate 100%, or it's a breach of the contract by the state of Illinois that issued you a license, and we're issuing it to you only on the condition that you cooperate in the future if you're ever arrested for DUI.
Who's the Secretary of State?
Jesse Boom Boom White.
I didn't agree to nothing, Jesse White. You can come to my fucking house. I didn't agree to nothing.
There are papers with your signature.
I didn't agree to nothing, Jesse White.
That's not my signature.
You can't prove nothing.
Is it on video? It's not on video. That's not my signature. All right, I think that's it. If anybody wants to talk, comments below. Subscribe to the channel.
I don't do that stuff, by the way.
I do.
I don't beg for comments and subs.
Well, what if they have questions and follow-ups? I'm willing to.
I'm gonna go ahead and prophecy right now is they're gonna want to see more of you because they don't know who you are.
Let's do more crime videos.
You can offer up more, police insight into some of this kind of stuff. So
it's nothing that is like. There's no secrets. It's just people don't know it.
Yeah.
I didn't know before I was a cop.
So they're probably going to be seeing more of this gentleman right here.
I'm going to go see more of this IPA.
He's a big Friday the 13th fan, big film fan.
Films,
video game fan.
Video games. I like to make.
He likes lots of guns. He's a big gun owner. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you enjoyed the breakdown. If you guys learned anything. Hopefully you did. And obviously this goes without saying, but hopefully none of you are drinking and driving out there. Don't end up like this unlucky lady. Like I said, obviously I have to say it, innocent until proven guilty, right? You don't know what happened. We don't know. But I guess we're gonna check the police blotter in the future, right?
I can't hear the floral notes.
Oh God. Great way to end the video. Alright guys, I wanna thank y'all for watching. You know my outro, right? How's it go?
I don't know.
You don't know my outro? Oh my God. Everyone, stay safe, stay driven, stay classy. I'll talk to you next time. All right.
Clinky.
Bye-bye.
Kinky.